Yo, what's going on? Look, right now you locked into the Vibes Blvd Podcast hosted by the one and only First D. Hey, look, man, I have an exciting episode lined up. But before we get into anything, man, if you haven't done so already, hit the subscribe button, tap the notification bell so you stay up to date. It's the Vibes Blvd Podcast, man. Let's get into it.
Vibes Blvd Podcast. What's going on, y'all? This your boy First D.
Vibes Blvd Podcast.
First D, you in the den with First D.
We on site at the Grand in Monroe, Georgia.
The job for me.
Yeah, man, we live right now.
I'm a real deal student of the game.
Yes, sir. This is the Vibes Blvd Podcast. And like I said before, it's hosted by the one and only First D. Man, if you're new to the podcast, welcome to Vibes Blvd. This is a place where anybody is welcome. Some people may feel uncomfortable, but you're welcome. We kick it. Try not to be too out of pocket, but I definitely share my opinions on things, and I try to keep it as unfiltered as possible. Man, before we get into it, like I was saying before, go ahead and subscribe to the podcast if you haven't done so already. No matter what platform you're catching this on, because I'm throwing it out everywhere. If it's Spotify or one of the other podcast platforms, follow the podcast, share it with all your people. YouTube, subscribe to the YouTube, Facebook, follow the Facebook page, anything, wherever you see this podcast, TikTok, Instagram, it don't matter. Follow, subscribe, share, anything you can do on that platform, and I appreciate it. Yeah, we had a pretty eventful weekend. I know it's quite a few people that's tapping in that are new to the podcast and everything, and I appreciate y'all for being here. This is Vibes Blvd, and we try to keep it light. I'm gonna definitely drop some jewels here and there. I'm not a comedian, but I might tell a joke here or there as well. So yeah, man, it's a comfortable, relaxed vibe, never too uptight, you know, and that's what's going on. Let's get some little vibes going, man. Alright, so now that we got the vibes going, we can go ahead and get into it. So, there's a few topics I had lined up. Quite a few, actually. So, before we really get started, the first thing I want to talk about, the actress Hayden Panettiere was found unresponsive. Let me see. I got some notes pulled up for us. So let's see if we can get some details. And I do have a few things to say. This particular episode, I think I should mention it's called Rabbit Hole, because many of the topics that I'm going to discuss actually have a long, deep rabbit hole that's attached to it, and we're gonna kind of get into it. We're probably not gonna get to the bottom of many things, but we definitely gonna start to go down a rabbit hole on many of the topics that I'm talking about today. Man, I don't even know where to start. So, Hayden Panettiere was found unresponsive. She ultimately was pronounced dead. She died at the age of 36. So here are some of the details. Hayden Panettiere tragically passed away at the age of 36 on Sunday, August 16, 2026. Emergency personnel responded to a 911 call regarding an unresponsive female at a residence in Greenville, South Carolina, where she was temporarily staying. First responders found Panettiere in cardiac arrest and administered advanced cardiac life support measures, but resuscitation efforts were unsuccessful, and she was pronounced dead at the scene at 2:32 p.m. Now, an autopsy was completed on today, it revealed no visible injuries or signs of trauma. Preliminary investigation by Greenville Police Department indicate no signs of foul play or suspicious circumstances. Now, with that being said, there is a 911 call that has been leaked, and I actually do have that audio. In the 911 call, you could hear someone. I'm assuming at that point it sounds to maybe have been an EMT, but that individual mentioned something about an overdose. Now, this hasn't been released through any of the official findings as of yet, so it's all speculation. We're not sure if the individual that we hear on the call was speculating. But yeah, that's a little strange. And after we listen to this call, I have more audio to play from an interview that she actually did a little earlier this year. So give me just a moment. Let me pull up the call. Now, a lot is blurred out because they were giving away private information over the call.
Mr. 1, minute 29 responding.
Overdose, CPR is in progress.
Now, we heard clearly, very clearly that male said overdose, CPR in progress. So now that makes this situation even more mysterious. Was it an accidental overdose? Was it something that was done on purpose? So once I first heard of this story, and I began to kind of look into everything, I started to uncover things that I really didn't even know about. So unbeknownst to me, now some of y'all might be more informed about Hayden Panettiere than I. But unbeknownst to me, she had been dealing with issues with addiction for some time. She had gone through a stint in rehab. Back in May of this year, she actually released her memoir where she describes some of her battles with addiction, and she was a child star. So she's been in the limelight. I think her first role was at the age of 1.5, very, very young. She's been in the limelight for a long time. And we see many, many times that child stars, those actors that started out at those very, very young ages and kind of been in the game since, we've seen many times that they kind of, for whatever reason, go off the deep end. We don't know what it's about. We're not sure why. We're not sure what's happening. I don't know. It seems to be something going on with Hollywood. We all have heard the rumors, but I don't know. Like this was one of those situations that usually I'm tapped in with everything. I nothing, especially something like this. It don't really miss me. So I'm not sure if it was kind of suppressed, if the powers that be didn't want this to circulate as much. But yeah, this has never come across my desk. So I'm gonna play audio from an interview that she did, and she's talking about an experience that she had where she was 18 years old. She was on a boat, on a yacht, and someone, she doesn't drop any names, someone that she trusted actually took a downstairs portion of the yacht and put her in the bed with a male, an undressed male that was a famous actor. She doesn't reveal the name of the actor, but she's 36 now. This happened when she was 18. Who knows how many other situations she had to run into after that. And knowing about the addiction battles that she had, like it all kind of makes sense. Like I said, we see this type of thing all the time. It seems to be a trend with child stars. So I'm gonna play the audio from this interview. It's a few minutes. I may let the whole clip run, or I may stop it after a while. But I'm gonna go ahead and get into it now.
Such a huge life, and I thought I was so mature at 18. Scientifically, her frontal lobes don't develop until we're 20, 26, 25, 26. So even though I felt like I could make healthy decisions, safe decisions, I wasn't capable of being fully aware of what was going on around me. And it wasn't until I found myself in predicaments that I realized my perspective completely shifted, and I realized.
So I guess that kind of answers the question that I had before when I said, wondering if this has happened since, if anything like this has happened since that, this incident that she's speaking about, or was it a one-off? But she kind of answered that when she said predicaments.
That I was in danger, but by the time I'd realized I was in danger, I was quite literally out to sea. And it was that moment shook me and was shocking. And I was quite literally walked down, and I had been having a great time. There was no hints of anything like that happening. So it took me, I was shocked. It took me by surprise. And it was somebody led by somebody that I had grown to trust and see as a protector, and somebody who had my back. And to be walked down the stairs, and it was as like a surprise, presented as though it was like a surprise. And it was this very small room, and she physically put me in the bed next to this undressed man who was very famous, and had his hands like this, like this was just, an average day for him. This is something that happens all the time. So and I waited for her to leave, and I mean that
surprise
lion in me, that fire in me, that my hair stood on end, and I became ferocious. I was like, this is not happening. But I had nowhere to hide, and I bolted, and I hid wherever I could think of to hide on a boat. There was no jumping off and swimming away, and there was nobody who was going to. I realized that there was nobody who was going to be empathetic to my situation, that this was nothing new to them.
I mean, that sounds, it's such a horrifying event to go through, and to be put in that position at 18 years old.
And disappointing when somebody lets you down like that. And I'd been let down so much before.
Man, come on now. So right off the bat, hearing that interview, and reading different excerpts from her memoir, it makes me ask if her cause of death was overdose. Was it an accidental overdose, or was it something done on purpose? Because I can, just imagine having to carry the weight of all these different things over all these years, and then just not even being able to be a normal person from as far back as she could probably remember herself, all the way to now. That's a seems to be a pretty heavy burden to carry. And yeah, that just begs the question: was this an accidental overdose? If it was an overdose, Was it an accidental situation, or was it something that she decided to do on purpose? I'm sure we're gonna find out whether or not it was an overdose. That the toxicology report should let us know that, but we may not ever know the truth behind it. You know, we may not ever know if it was something that she planned to do, something she wanted to do, or if it was just getting a hold of a bad batch. Either way, thoughts and prayers to the family of Hayden Panettiere. There's definitely a very, very tragic situation. Nothing that any family is looking to have to deal with. That's, it's very unfortunate. And it's crazy, man. We've seen a lot of people, just people in general for one, but definitely celebrities, individuals that you know on the outside looking in, you might feel like they have a great life, the money, the fame, but on the inside, they could be completely broken, and we see it so many times. It's overdose situation, and it just begs the question, like, is it accidental? All these different times, are they by accident? Is it something that these people are just, hey, I'm sick of dealing with whatever it is I'm dealing with right now? I don't know. But it's definitely something to pay attention to over the next few days, few weeks. Keep your eyes peeled for different reports, and we'll find out what's going on with it. But yeah, it's a very sad situation, and once again, condolences to the family. Condolences to the family. So I kind of got some somber vibes playing right now, and we're gonna kind of keep that going with the next topic. So the next topic, Nolan Wells. We got Nolan Wells Case Updates. I try to provide updates with this particular case. Not every episode, but every other episode. If not every other episode, definitely every two. It's a lot. It's a lot of things circulating around online, and you got opinions leaning this way, opinions leaning that way. We've seen those opinions clash in the middle, and with all the drama surrounding it, that this is also a very unfortunate situation for the family of Nolan Wells to have to deal with. So there have been so many things said. I've seen personally. I've come across so many different podcasts talking about it, news shows, you name it, different influencers. Now, someone that has been covering it extensively is Nancy Grace, and I'm sure many of you that's watching this right now are watching or listening to this right now are familiar with Nancy Grace. If you aren't, just type the name in on YouTube, Nancy Grace. You'll see the work. But she's been covering this case extensively, and she's been having a repeat guest on her shows. This guy, now I said in the previous episode I wouldn't. After that episode, I was never gonna play this guy's content on my platform. So I'm not gonna play any of his interviews or any audio of his voice or anything like that. But his name is Brandon Tatum. He goes by Officer Tatum. He's apparently a former police officer, and he's a black guy. What I'm trying to decide when it comes to him is where the motivation comes from. Like, because it's one thing to be a conservative. He's a Republican. He's a conservative. It's one thing to have those political values, but it seems like he has some other sort of chip on his shoulder when it comes to black people. It's content out there that he's put out where he's saying black people are ignorant, stupid, irrational, unintelligent, you name it. But you never, no matter what the situation is, you never see the same vitriol for any members of any other community. Definitely not any members of the white community. You just don't see him mention anything disparaging. So the reason I'm mentioning him, again, he's a repeat guest on Nancy Grace's show, and for whatever reason, he's feeling like Nolan's friends have been compelling. He's interviewed the guys. He's interviewed the friends of Nolan Wells, the ones that left him on Horn Island. And he, even with all the evidence that's coming out of how it's definitely something suspicious going on, he's now even running with the narrative. Well, these are some good guys. I could tell they're some good guys. So it wasn't them. It couldn't have been them. It had to have been somebody else. I do think something happened to Nolan, but it had to have been somebody else. My God. But that's the type of time that he's on. Like if it's ever a situation that black people stand up for or surround or champion, please believe Brandon Tatum is going to be against it. And that's all he's going to talk about. Everything else is A-okay. But if it's black, it just ain't right in his eyes. Now, as Nancy Grace is having him on her show, she's not just letting him spew the lies and the BS and all the trickery. Like she's trying him up at every step. He's showing how uninformed and how unintelligent he is every time he chats with Nancy Grace and she rips him apart. She rips all of the fake narratives that he tries to put out there. She rips it to shreds with facts or proving that what he's saying isn't fact. And I don't know who he has a following. I don't know who supports him. I know who supports him because there always has to be a token. There always has to be a token, and Brandon Tatum, my guy, that's you. But anyways, Brandon Tatum has been spewing lies about Nolan Wells' mother, Christine Wells, saying that she was uncooperative when it came to releasing Nolan's cell phone to authorities to have the information scrubbed from it and pulled from it. Over this time, she's made a few appearances. There's been a number of press conferences where she's spoken, but when it comes to all of the attacks and all of the lies, it's not much that she's been saying. Her along with her legal team, Ben Crump and his associates, they've been hard at work, just trying to get to the truth. So I'm gonna actually play some audio from an interview that she recently did. It was a few days ago, and for the first time, or at least for the first time that I've seen, she's actually like telling what's going on from her point of view, from her side, and why she feels the need that a private investigation needs to be done simultaneously with the official one. Because, man, when you listen to what she got to say, man, these folks was ignoring her. She calling this agency. She called the police. She called the sheriff. Everybody turning her around saying they can't help. It's not their jurisdiction. Well, here, whose jurisdiction is it? And this was in the early moments of it when she was just trying to report him missing. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into audio of that interview.
Dad and him had been training and doing all these things and really just kind of sitting with him and letting him know, like, hey, you know, we're going to the next stage in your life as well as, you know,
so
your
the interview
career.
is a bit lengthy, so I'm not
So
going to
the
play the
focus was
entire
there.
thing, but I will
And
let it
he
run
was
for
ready.
a minute.
Before you do anything else today, put your phone.
And I am playing on YouTube, so we do got ads. So let me get past that.
So he leaves that day.
He leaves that day with, he drives his car, and he told us kind of a general, like, hey, you know, we're going to go to the island. Like, we knew that. I'm staying at Jack's house. And Jax was a friend I think we've met in passing before. And that's the thing.
Right now, this is audio of
You know,
Nolan
I
Wells'
always
mother,
say there's a difference
Christine
in
Wells,
meeting someone,
sitting down in an interview where she's,
knowing
for the first time, giving her point of
someone,
view
and then knowing
and
someone.
telling
Knowing implies that we've
what's
sat
been going
down,
on from-
we've had
from
discussions
her
about your
standpoint.
hopes, your dreams, you know, knowing you, okay, hey, he stayed the night at my house, which Wyatt, one of his friends, he had stayed at our house a couple of times. And then Jax, again, that was one I just maybe saw in passing a few times. There's only a handful of young men that we actually knew, like, he grew up with. And when I say grew up, I'm saying from like first grade, they've known each other all through high school now that they're graduated. And that would be like Jalen and Javon, LeBaron. Those are kids that we knew. So it's been hard seeing all this kind of play out.
Yeah.
And, you know, these are people that he considered friends.
Yes. Dad, I want to ask you, because it was Warren Hudson, one of the people that he traveled with, who called to alert you all that Nolan was missing.
Yes.
So we know at 5:44, the boat returns, Nolan is not there. At 11 p.m., he calls to say
So
Nolan
Nolan's
is
dad
missing.
is actually
I wonder
here
if
in
either
the
of you
interview
ever
as
wants
well.
to answer.
So you'll hear him
What happened
speaking
in
as
those 2
well.
hours that prompted Warren to be
So
concerned?
I'm not quite sure what would prompt him to be concerned, but all I can say is what I did that day. So, me and my sister, we made an order of pancit, which is a Filipino noodle dish for one of our friends. They were having a big family get together, and we really didn't have anything planned for the 4th. So me and my sister are, you know, cleaning up, and this is about 8. And she's like, hey, you know, Nolan hasn't texted us. Like, and that was the thing. Nolan was really big with communication with us, right? And so I call him, doesn't answer. I end the call. Call back, and this is probably, I think, maybe around 8. Don't quote me on the times, guys. So then I call again later around 8, still no answer. And then I want to say I called one more time, and I think that was at like 10:48. So I'm in the kitchen, my phone rings. Now this is probably like early 11 o'clock, somewhere around there. Phone rings when I make it back to the phone, and I'm like, whose number is this? Because, you know, we get weird phone calls sometimes. They didn't leave a message. Number pops back up. I pick up the phone because it says maybe Warren. And I'm like, Warren? So this is 11:07. That's per my cell phone records. So I answered the phone. He's like, hey, Miss Christine, have you seen or talked to Nolan? I said, no. Why? He should be with you guys. And he said, oh, no, well, you know, when we went to the island, there was a girl named Katie that he met, and he had decided to stay behind. And I said, what? Because we know our child. And Nolan isn't one to be like, oh, well, I'm just going to throw caution to the...
You know, something else that I just noticed as I'm listening to her tell what was taking place. Now, she was calling Nolan's phone around 8 and not getting an answer. But then around 11, she received that call from Warren. Now, think about this. She don't have his number saved. this obviously not somebody that she speaks with. So that means he didn't have her number. So what I'm kind of speculating right now is that they had access to his phone to be able to get his mother's number out of the phone and even place the call to her in the first place. Now it's all speculation, but it's just kind of conclusions that I'm coming up with as I'm listening to her tell what was going on when everything first took place. All right, so let's get back into it.
The wind, and I'm going to stay here with this girl that I just met. So I'm on the phone with him. Now I'm in a panic. I'm running into my room. Elmore was in bed watching a different movie, and I'm like frantic. He's like, what's going on? I'm like, no one is missing. I'm trying to pull up the GPS as I'm talking to him. And at some point he tells me that, I was like, well, his phone says GPS Life 360, not Snapchat.
Right.
Life 360 says that he's on land. And he was like, well, no, I mean, we have his phone.
That pain in your hips and back, it is.
So, so you called me around 11, asking me if I seen my son. When you knowing that he stayed behind, that you saying he stayed behind. I'm telling you that I have the app pinging showing that he's on land, and now you saying, oh no, we had a phone. Don't you think that should have been mentioned as soon as we got on the call? Like, how have we been talking this long? We have exchanged these many words back and forth, and you just now saying, oh, but we have his phone. All right, man.
And I'm like, wait, what? And I'm like, okay. Because at that point, you're telling me, this is coming from Warren, don't worry about it. We're going to find him. It's going to be okay. Don't tell me not to worry. This is my child, my flesh and blood that I brought into this world. And you're telling me not to worry.
Come on, don't worry.
Absolutely not. So then it was after the phone call ended, of course, asking him for information. What was he wearing? He was like, last seen, Northwest tip, black shorts, sunglasses. That's important. So I end up calling DMR, spoke with the DMR. She took all
Just for our audience, DMR.
So DMR is because he went missing on the island. They are basically the marine people, right? They're the ones who's going to launch the boats to go into the water and all that. But before getting off the phone with Warren, he was like, hey, I know some people at Coast Guard. I said, okay. He's like, I'm going to call Coast Guard. You call DMR. Get on the phone with DMR. I give the young lady the information. And she tells me, hey, I got this. Let me call you back. Because she was like, I'm not sure if this is going to be in our jurisdiction, essentially. So then she calls back and she tells me, okay, yeah, we spoke with Coast Guard. And I'm like, okay. But they're like, this isn't our jurisdiction. You have to contact the city of Ocean Springs. I said, okay, hang up the phone, call in Ocean Springs Police Department. They say, hey, you have to physically come down and give a report. I said, okay. So on our way, because we don't live that far from the police station, on our way there, I was like, well, let me stop by the hospital because there's a hospital that's maybe 5 minutes up the road from our house. Stop by there. I'm like, hey, have you guys seen this kid? Has he been brought in? The lady's like, no, ma'am. We hadn't. I said, okay, thank you. Run out. We go to the police department, get to the police station. And, the officer basically says, again, this is out of our jurisdiction.
Man, this sounds
and at
like
that point, I'm like, my God, who am I supposed to talk to?
Like
who is supposed to help me with this?
With the okie doke.
So then he said, it's going to be, you would have to call DMR. I was like, we've already called DMR. DMR said it's not in their jurisdiction. So, we end up, I think at some point I had called Jackson County Sheriff's Office. Yeah. So she calls back and she's like, hey, are you there? I said, yes, we're here, but he's telling us the same thing you guys told us, which is no, We can't take it. She gets on the phone with a police officer. Now, this is Jackson County Sheriff's Department speaking with the Ocean Springs Police Department. Ocean Springs Police Department is saying, this is why we can't take this information. She says, okay. He gives me the phone back, and she's like, okay, I'm just going to take it. I'm just going to take the information. And that was, we met an officer. It was after midnight. Right. Yeah, it was somewhere after midnight. Met him in the McDonald's parking lot, gave him the information. He was just like, okay, thanks. I was like, where is the urgency? Mm-hmm. And so, as far as we know, there were no boats on the water that night. We actually, his high school football coach, Coach Bramlett, texted Elmore that morning. He said, hey man, I got a boat. Because again, we don't have boats. Let me make that very clear. We do not have a boat. We're not boating people. We don't do water like that. Okay. So Coach Bramlett's like, hey, I got a boat. So we was like, great, let's go. We're on the water. We go out there. We walk the island. Cell phone works perfectly fine. I actually had almost an entire conversation with my grandmother, who was in a panic, as we're walking.
Brandon Tatum and Nolan's friends have been.
I just want to pause there.
They've been lying, talking about how bad the phone reception is supposed to be. You can barely use your phone on the island. That's why Nolan didn't have nothing in his phone.
And this is some of the disputes that we have about that night.
Nolan's mom just
debunked free to
that.
jump in here because they're saying he met this young lady, Katie, and that he stayed back. According to the reporting, Katie is saying no. He said he was going to go with his friends. According to the reporting, the friends say no, he left us his phone because there was no reception. Dad, have you found any consistencies? Have you spoken directly with any of his friends?
Well, the first inconsistency was you called me and tell me my son stayed on the island to talk to a girl. My son would never do that. That's not in his character. I didn't raise none of my kids to do that. The second thing is, you say he doesn't have his phone. He doesn't leave his phone. I will wake up sometimes in the morning and Nolan will have his phone here right in my face. And I'm waking up cussing and fussing like, boy, you don't get the camera on my face. And he just laughing and giggling and stuff like that. So it's twice. To me, there's two lies that he told me as a father. Like I said, we went on the island. And actually, a classmate of mine called me that morning as we were going out to the island with Nolan's coach. He's like 40 miles away. He calls me, hey man, I got the boat. Me and my boys, we're gonna go out there and help you look. I didn't call him, he called me. And we're gonna start on this end. I said, well, we're probably gonna start on the other end. So me, my wife, Coach Bramlett, and a high school classmate of mine were the only, we were the first ones out there looking. Like I said, we docked the boat, got out the boat, walked on the island. She had a whole conversation with her grandmother on the island. Got back on the boat, went back around the island. I guess that would be the north side, facing the Gulf of Mexico. I get another phone call. So my phone worked fine. So this whole thing about not having phone service, I don't know. I don't know if it's the carrier or what, but ours worked fine. I think those around maybe 8 o'clock.
Yeah, because we finished up around.
Who was it? Jackson County or
Jackson County Sheriff
finally showed up.
Yeah,
a couple of boats. They finally showed up. And by that time, I was like, he's not out here. I was more focused that he was at someone's house.
That was
so. That's where my hopes and feelings were. So we left. The county stayed out there. My friend, he stayed out there because he called. He was like, well, we're going to stay out here a little bit longer. I said, okay, I appreciate it. So we leave. Then I would say maybe a couple hours later, my friend calls me back and he would say, well, we're going to give it and go. But he said, look, I can gas the boat back up. And if you want to go back out there, we can go back out there. I said, I don't.
So I'm going to stop it right there. But man, it just like hearing Nolan's parents just talk about how their experience was upon first finding out that their son was even missing. Like it really, to me, it reeks of cover up and lies, like right off the bat. And it is what's so crazy to me is that these people, like I want to know the people that try to spew these narratives and the things that they trying to get us to believe, like the friend Nolan's friends that he's supposed to been on the boat with. I wouldn't care how many interviews y'all did, bro. Like, it don't sound right. It's all fishy. It's messed up, and it's a lot of things pointing to negligence, if nothing else. It's crazy. And the family, these boys' family been moving so strategic, like whatever evidence could have been found on that boat, man, please believe it is not there anymore. Please believe it is not there anymore. This Nolan Wells situation, because of the potential of or not the potential, but because of the visual of the visual dynamic, racial dynamic of their friendship, it automatically leads people to kind of, even if you don't overtly say it in the back of your mind, like race has come up in your mind at least a couple times within this interaction. And I don't know, man. Is it just about race? I seen something online. I couldn't corroborate this at all, and so I didn't even want to really make a big presentation for it. But I definitely think it's worth noting that throughout many decades, and I hate to continue to be that guy, but I'm just pointing out the obvious. I'm not trying to make it about race, but I'm just pointing out the obvious. And if race falls into the category of me pointing out the obvious when it comes to this particular situation, so be it. But we've seen over decades, man, like I don't know what they do, because I haven't been in a situation where I'm the only black person and I got, just my white friends around. I haven't been in a situation like that, so I don't know like what's going on. Like when they get these people by themselves, like, and it's always these mysterious deaths, and I don't know, man, it's crazy. That interview is available on YouTube with Nolan Wells' mother and father. So go check that out in its entirety. But it's crazy just to hear how she was being handled in just the hours that followed, even finding out that Nolan was missing, or Nolan wasn't with his friends. It's crazy, and I just want to know, and I can't wait to see how many jaws drop when the truth of what's going on and what happened, when it actually comes out. I know jaws are going to drop and eyes are going to roll, and I can't wait to see it. And I know that's going to be a very special podcast episode. But yeah, man, something happened to that young man, and I'm telling you, it wasn't no mistake. We don't know who did it, but I know whatever happened, it wasn't no mistake. I mean, I ain't going for it at all. At all. So, we're going to get some more vibes going real quick, man. Let's see if we get a little vibe going real. All right, so we got the vibes going. Get a little bar, man. Rock out for a minute. I'm about to change the mode with these next few topics I'm gonna get into.
Vibes Blvd Podcast. The Vibes Blvd Podcast. Vibes Blvd Podcast. Tune in to Vibes Blvd Podcast. Tell a friend about Vibes Blvd Podcast. Go ahead and share if you love Vibes Blvd Podcast. Welcome to Vibes Blvd Podcast. Oh yeah, yeah. Vibes
Blvd Podcast. Yeah, man, you had to throw them vibes in on for you one time, man. Yeah, we do got theme songs and shit, man. You know. So the next topic that I'm getting into, I'm actually, oh man, we got runaway topics right now. Runaway topics. All right. So let's see if we can get it right. So the next topic I'm getting to is, I'm providing a Zeus Network Weekend Recap. Zeus Network Weekend Recap. Yeah, man. So over this past weekend, man, Zeus Network had it going on, boy. When I say they had it going on, like this was a very eventful weekend for Zeus. I ain't gonna lie, man. It felt electric almost, and I know that sounds corny, but man, I'm gonna talk about what Zeus had going on, and I'm gonna talk about where I kind of fit into the puzzle as a very small, very minute piece, right? But you know, might be one of the little small pieces that'd be hard to find, but I fit into the puzzle somewhat. So I'm gonna get into that as well. So Saturday we had the Zeus fight. It was an undercard for the Clarissa Shields K. Scott fight. And it was an interesting undercard to say the least. It was highly anticipated. We had, I can't even think of names, man. I feel crazy. We had two security guards. So like, I'm not sure. One of them Samoan and another one, I'm not really sure. They went head to head. The smaller of the two came out victorious. He's the new Zeus security champion. Now a highly anticipated fight in the undercard, in Zeus undercard, was Ray J versus Orlando Brown. Man, when I tell you comedy, believe me, comedy. Man, going into that particular fight, I must say I wanted Ray J to knock Orlando block off, because I just hate, like, both of them troll like crazy, but I hate Orlando Brown's style of trolling. A lot of crazy stuff he don't say, man. I'm not with it at all. I wanted Ray J to knock his block off. Now Ray J did not succeed in knocking Orlando Brown's block off. However, he did give him a small case of the beats. It wasn't a big case of it or a bad case of it. It was a little light case of the beats. So that was a little satisfactory for me. You know, what can I say? Sorry. But yeah, man. Ray J and Orlando Brown was one of the funnier fights that I think I've seen. It wasn't like at the time, like I can say that it's funny now, but at the time I didn't think it was funny. I was annoyed by the shit. I was like, man, what is going on? Like they had to wait all this time for this type of boo, this boo. Man, you got me waiting for this boo. That's how I felt. And I will say I did laugh. It was crazy and made me feel like, all right, so they even fighting for real? Like, it looked like they were fighting for real. They can't fight, but it looked like they were fighting for real. But yeah, man, it seemed like, man, I don't know what was going on, brother. Straight clown show. Now, Zeus's highly anticipated fight, most anticipated fight, inside or outside the ring, might I add, it was Big Lex versus Tasiki. They both call themselves heavy hitter. Everyone else calls them heavy hitters. Watching the shows, you know, when they fight, you know, we see it's rare that they lose either one of the, you know, either of the two. Now I can't remember what beef they were having, or if they set the fight up just strictly on some let's get money shit. I'm not sure how it actually started or became a thing. But I was expecting Tasiki to go in there and completely demolish Big Lex. I was expecting Tasiki to knock her head clean off her shoulders like one of those the little fighting toy men. Like it didn't go down that way, man. I mean, watching the fight, you know, it was clear to see. And I talked about this during my last bonus episode I just put out. But it was clear to see that Tasiki was just outmatched. She didn't seem to have the same speed as Big Lex. She didn't have enough reach to get in good to really do what she needed to do. Lex had a long arms and she was able to tag. It was a sight to see, to say the least. But yeah, man, Big Lex came out on top. We'll give a round of applause for Big Lex, man. Even though I wanted her to get beat up. But yeah, so that was Saturday. On Sunday, when we know Sundays are Zeus days, we seen an episode of Baddies USA, Chapter 2. Now I'm not sure if this was the finale, if this is the last episode we're gonna get before the reunion. I can't recall, to be honest. But I mean, it's more of what you expect. They're going at it heavy. They're going at it like damn near nonstop. Like this season across all the shows, I will say it seemed like this particular season seemed to be the most fighting this season that don't grace the Zeus cameras. It's crazy though. The Bad Boys Dominican Republic had their reunion, the last part of their reunion. 4 of the guys got chains. Let me see who they gave it to. Who got the chain? Landon Pooty got a chain. John and Don got a chain. And I think Lynx got a chain. But and congratulations to those guys. But man, the Bad Boys reunion, it was so unorganized. They fighting so much. It's to the point where like they bad, and it's the same with the baddies and baddies going wild. Man, they do so much fighting. It'd be hard to even get any kind of dialogue in to even see what was going on. And it's almost like as soon as they start to talk about why they mad at the next person, they'll get up and start power walking toward them, like kind of put you in the mind of the Jerry Springer days or the Maury days when they, you know, huffing and puffing and think, you know, knowing that security gonna step in but acting like you trying to get to a person. There's a lot of fights. If you watched Bad Boys over the season, you know, Jada was well, apparently a crowd favorite, audience favorite. But throughout the season, man, he was like, he was the main one, like handing out the beats. Like a lot of people fought, but it seemed like anytime he fought somebody, he was handing out the beats. So on this reunion early on too, man, John touched him up just right. Jada went backstage, falling out, everything. Like, I don't know what he was on to that during the day of film or the day before filming, what he had going on, but he was not prepared, and it showed, because he's supposed to have been on there demolishing, wrecking shop. But yeah, him and John had their little confrontation that last go round of theirs, and that sent him straight backstage. He had that dazed look in his eyes. He had to call paramedics, everything. That was the end that was the last installment of the reunion for Bad Boys. Man, let me just say, John the Don, that's an interesting character. And I'm starting to question him more and more. Like every time I see him, like he look more and more strange, and then the way he acts, and just, I knew he was a little weird from Love Cabin, but I had no idea it was gonna be like how he is. Man, I know that because he got a chain, he's obviously one of the crowd favorites, or maybe he's one of Zeus favorites. I don't know, because I don't see that many people. I just can't believe that many people be fucking with him. But more than likely, he's gonna be on the next season of Bad Boys, or gonna make an appearance or something. In some form or another. Oh man, Baddies Gone Wild reunion. Oh, Baddies Gone Wild DR. Yep. Their reunion. This was part one of their reunion, and man, this reunion might have had more fights and been crazy, even more crazy than the Bad Boys reunion. Man, when I tell you they were going at it, man, when I tell you they were not leaving any stone unturned. And this was just part one of this reunion. So they typically have been giving us 3 parts to the reunion. Sometimes it'll be 2, but I think we're gonna get 3 parts for this reunion. So we got 2 more weeks of it. So man, it's gonna be crazy. I'm trying to see who's gonna get a broke nose, black eye, busted lips, something. I'm not saying that I'm encouraging it to happen, but if y'all gonna do it, if y'all gonna be out there fighting going on, shit, yeah, what it is. But yeah, man, that was my short Zeus recap, Zeus weekend recap. This next topic, I really as I was getting the topics together, this was actually one of the first ones that I had pulled in and everything. And I don't know, it seems a bit emotional. This is I'm gonna play audio of BlueFace. He was some kind of streaming house, something like that, content creator house. Whack 100 was with him, and they're talking to BlueFace's Kick stream, just saying crazy things, and it was weird because he was kind of making it seem like DDG not rocking with him no more, or he don't know where they stand, and they supposed to be going on tour. That him and Wack saying they got the tour set up, everything ready to go, but he hasn't heard back from DDG in some time now. So that's what's going on with that. But yeah, let me go ahead and get the audio of what BlueFace was saying. Where is it? I thought I had it saved, man. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Let me pause these vibes.
Hey, Chad, look. DDG came out first and said he want to tour with us. So we set everything up to tour. And brother's giving us some pushback, some inconsistent conversation. DDG, what's up, bro? We touring or what?
DD, don't be playing, DD.
This the last chance, bro. We locking in dates. We locking in contracts, brother. We need you to be more responsive.
Meet us in Calabasas.
Yeah, come on. We moonwalking through the United States, DDG. Everybody tell DDG as you go on tour with BlueFace or not. You asked for this.
God damn it.
We set it up.
Off. Streamers high.
And
going down.
We still waiting on your response, DDG. We still waiting on your promotion, man. Let me know. What we doing? I hate to think that when I went to prison, you got Hollywood and stop.
Nah, DD.
Yeah, I wouldn't think DDG would.
DD ain't never
He didn't help me get all this streaming shit together.
That's your partner. That's your brother for real.
He ain't been acting like it lately. I invited him to the baby shower. I keep texting him my new number.
DD is the only motherfucker you gave me a no-fly zone on.
Fuck all that. I've been tapping in with brother, and brother's been acting like it's all for content, like it's all for stream. So,
he ain't responded.
I would love to see him show up without the streamers on, without the stream going, or else you know how we gonna do it. We just gonna say fuck her.
Nah, not DD. D come out to see. DD.
I'm reaching out.
I'm calling you tonight. He ain't responded? No way. I don't believe that.
Come on, brother. I'm reaching
I don't believe DD ain't responding to you.
Telling brother,
so animated. I don't
you
know.
Came online and said that you want to go on tour with us.
He been performing it for.
I tell you, set the tour up. Now he's doing like weird shit. So I hope it's just not all for content.
DD, I'm calling you tonight, DD.
Let's see. I hope the chat can let him know, like, hey, bro, Blue really fuck with you. He trying to rock with you, but you getting this shit like a little confused, you know?
That's a fact. It cannot be that.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, I looked on Kick today. Did it say 50,000?
We outdoing everybody, but
58,000? You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Kick.
Yeah, man. So that was audio I came across earlier where I don't know, like I said, to me, sound he begging DDG to rock with him again. You know, asking, are we friends or not? Are we going on tour or not? We friends or not? Like, bro, if you got to do all that, I don't know, maybe our relationship just ain't what you were thinking it was, and that's fine. But don't be sending up, man. You up there on screen like that, man. These guys, they'll get on here and do anything. They'll put anything up. That's just what they be. That's just what they do. I don't know, man. Now, before I move on to the next topic, there are a few things, man. BlueFace he's been going through it, man. So apparently he got a new baby on the way with a different baby mama. They were having a baby shower. Now I'm not sure if she pulled up alone or if she pulled up with BlueFace, but apparently Krishan showed up to this baby shower, and all hell broke loose. So what I'm about to do now. So in addition to Krishan showing up to the baby shower, it's been reports that she actually got into it with the baby mama, the baby mama to be. So it was a big situation they had going on. Outside of that, BlueFace it's footage of him getting knocked down. Him and Krishan find some people in the streets. They was out together, and it seemed like anytime they get together, that when the bullshit start. They might not be able to see it, but I can see it. As soon as these motherfuckers get together, that's when the BS start. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. But yeah, man, BlueFace been going through it. It's been a pretty rough week, man. But with as rough as this week may have been lately, I'm not sure if he's been having nearly as rough a time as Lil Durk. Now, Lil Durk he's facing big boy charges. Every day that he wakes up, he has to come to terms with the fact that he may be in that sort of situation, this locked up jail situation for the rest of his life. I don't really know what the situation is, what it could be, who it's surrounding. It's again, man. I want to say it's unfortunate, but to be honest with you, though, to be perfectly honest, when it comes to Lil Durk and his situation, like it's hard to feel bad about it. Like I don't really feel bad about it because it's like, bro, you making millions, bro. Yeah, people talking shit, things being said that you don't like, you don't like the disrespect. You're a millionaire, and I'm assuming a multi-millionaire. Multi-millionaire, and you want to call these little petty hits like this ain't no real like. And I know lives have been lost, and it's hard. Like, don't let me be the one to say how a person's supposed to react after losing a loved one or somebody close to them. Tragically through violent means. But I'm gonna say this, if you can't buy good sense with multiple millions of dollars, maybe it's just not for sale. Maybe you can't, it don't matter, you can't get it. Lil Durk's situation is crazy. And he's now facing a whole separate case, a whole separate RICO case. In this new case, he got like 35 people, 35 co-defendants, 35 witnesses. They all agreed to be witness. They got him. Man, I haven't been just super tapped in with Lil Durk's case, but when I seen that report today that it was 35 witnesses that these folks got ready to go, 35 of them, bro. When I seen that, I said, man, look here. Ain't no way in the hell, man. Ain't no way in. It's crazy. It's all crazy. So as I'm going through my topics, I realized we've actually come to the end of the show. That was the last topic I had lined up, man. And so if you made it this far in the podcast, man, I appreciate it. I can be a bit long-winded sometimes. Sometimes I especially when I've been talking for a minute, I start to fumble over these words, and there's a lot of different things that could cause you to say, man, you know what? Let me get off this channel. Let me get off this podcast. Let me just get off this page, whatever. But if you made it to this point in the podcast, I appreciate you. If you so kindly look in the top left-hand portion of the screen, you see a Cash App. See Cash App information right there. $ Vibes Boulevard. That's $ VIBES BLVD. If you should feel so compelled, go ahead and send a donation, any kind of love offering to that Cash App account. Everything is appreciated. Yeah, man, it's the Vibes Blvd Podcast. The Vibes Blvd Podcast, man. I don't know what they thought it was, but this is what it is, This is what's going on, Now, what I did during this episode that's titled Rabbit Hole, we briefly went down rabbit holes, but we didn't expound very much. So I left it open for you to do your own research and formulate your own interpretation, or holding off until I do part 2 for every different thing, every different topic that I mentioned. So that's something to look forward to. Vibes up real quick, man. It if it's around me, it's gonna be some vibes. Something nice, mellow. Yeah. But like I said, man, this right here has been another special edition of the Vibes Blvd Podcast. I'm your host, the number one, the one and only First D. I appreciate you. Tell a friend and tell a friend. The Vibes Blvd Podcast is here to stay. And we out.
What's going on, y'all? This your boy First D.
Vibes Blvd Podcast.
First D, you in the den with First D.
We on site at the Grand in Monroe, Georgia.
The job for me.
Yeah, man, we live right now.
I'm a real deal student of the game.